It's something you do every single day, probably without even thinking about it. You flip a switch. But what's actually going on in that invisible world of wires? Well, today, we're going to trace that journey of energy to understand the simple and honestly pretty elegant science behind an electrical circuit.
So it all starts with this one simple action, right? You flip a switch and bam, a light comes on. It's so fast, it feels like magic, doesn't it? But what's really happening in that split second between your finger moving and a whole room filling up with light?
Okay, so this right here, this is the core of the whole mystery. On the left, you've got an open circuit and the bulb is dark. On the right, a closed one and the bulb is lit. The only real difference you can see is that tiny little gap in the wire. So what is it about that gap that makes all the difference? To figure that out, we have to go way, way smaller.
All right, to solve this mystery of the switch, we've got to start at the atomic level. Let's zoom in and take a look at the invisible flow of energy that powers, well, pretty much everything.
Okay, first things first. What even is energy? It's not just some fuzzy concept. It has a really clear job. Think of it this way. At its very core, the main job of energy is just to make things move or change. That's it. It's the ultimate catalyst for action.
So where does electrical energy come from? Well, it all starts right here, inside the atom, and specifically from these tiny little particles just whizzing around the center. They're called electrons, and believe it or not, these little guys are the heroes of our entire story.
And here it is. This is the big secret. And honestly, it's almost ridiculously simple. When we talk about electricity, all we're really talking about is the movement of these electrons, them just jumping from one atom to the next. That's literally it. A simple little jump that when you get enough of them going can power entire civilizations. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Now, things get really interesting when these electrons stop just bouncing around randomly and instead get organized, guided along a specific path. We give that organized flow a special name, electric current. It's the difference between, say, a scattered crowd and a marching army. It's a powerful river of energy we can actually use to get things done.
So if the electric current is a river, how do we build the riverbed for it to flow in? Well, you can think of a simple circuit kind of like a recipe with just 3 essential ingredients.
Every single working circuit, whether it's in a tiny flashlight or a massive supercomputer, is built from these 3 basic parts. You need a source to give it a push, conductors to make the path, and a load to actually do something with it. Let's break each one down.
All right, first up, we need an energy source. A battery is the perfect example. It doesn't just store energy, it creates a kind of electrical pressure that makes the electrons want to move. It's like an engine, just revving and waiting for the green light.
Okay, next, you've got to have a path for all that energy to travel on. That's where conductors come in. These are materials, like the copper you'd find inside these wires, that let electrons flow through them super easily. They are the superhighway for our electric current.
And last but not least, the whole point of this exercise, the load. This is any device that takes that electrical energy and turns it into something else. In this case, light and heat. This is where the magic happens, where all that energy gets put to work.
Okay, so we've got our 3 ingredients, a source, a path, and a load. But just throwing them together won't do anything. The way they're all connected, that's the real secret. And it's all about an unbroken racetrack.
This right here is the golden rule of electricity. You ready? An electric circuit has to be a complete unbroken path. The electrons need a continuous loop so they can travel from the energy source, through the load, and all the way back to where they started. Any break, and I mean any break in that loop, and the whole thing just stops instantly.
Yeah, this racetrack idea, it's the perfect way to picture what's going on. The electrons are the race cars, and they can only finish a lap if the track is totally complete. If there's a huge gap in the middle of the road, well, the race is over before it even starts, right?
Now, just like any racetrack, you need some rules of the road. We control where the electrons go using 2 different kinds of materials. You've got conductors, like copper, which are the smooth pavement of the track. They let the electrons just zoom along. But you also need insulators, like rubber, which act as the guardrails, making sure the electrons stay on track and don't spill out all over the place.
Okay, we've got all the pieces now. We know about electrons, we've got our 3 ingredients, and we know the golden rule of the racetrack. So it's time. Let's put it all together and finally solve the secret of the switch.
And suddenly, when you look at this picture again, it all clicks, doesn't it? The dark bulb is in an open circuit. The racetrack is broken. The lit bulb?
That's in a closed circuit. The path is complete, which lets the electrons flow and do their job.
Let's just break this down nice and simple. In an open circuit, the path is broken, so the energy flow just stops, and nothing works. But in a closed circuit, the path is complete, energy flows freely, and the output works exactly as it should. It's really a simple on or off system. It's either broken or complete. That's it.
And that is all a switch is doing. It's just a tool for us to control the racetrack. Think of it like a drawbridge. When you flip a switch to off, you're basically raising the bridge, creating a gap and opening the circuit. Flip it on, you lower the bridge, complete that path, and let those electrons fly.
So there you have it. The magic of a switch is really just the power to open or close a path, to break or complete that electron racetrack. It's wild to think that from this one simple idea, our entire high-tech world is built. Which leads to a final thought. If this is what it takes for one little light bulb, can you even imagine the incredible symphony of millions, maybe billions, of these tiny switches opening and closing inside the phone or computer you're watching this on right now?